Hello, what's up, good people? Good to see you once again. Now, guess what? Today I'm gonna share with you best, simple, effective, and intriguing formula for you to raise 1 million bob. And guess what? On a 50,000 monthly salary by the next 2027 general election. Guess what? Because the election is about around the corner. All right. So anyway, maths don't lie or numbers don't lie. Today I'm gonna take you step by step, explain to you a bit by bit what you've been missing out. By the way, take a pen and paper because today is a lot of mathematics and show you exactly what do you do with that amount of money, how do you plan yourself so that you actually able to raise that specific amount of money. Sometimes it may sound as if it's a mountain and probably you think like you can never even actually manage to raise that amount of money. And guess what? Today I'm busting that bubble and I'm actually debunking that myth and show you it is possible to actually go ahead and do it. Alright, so anyway, I have a tank of a lot of videos for you and I don't want you to miss any of my good videos. This is what I want you to do. Just take 1 second. Down below there on your right there is a button written subscribe. Hit that button. Then on your left there is a like button. Hit those two magical buttons, and what happens once you do exactly that, and by the way it's free, you get to be notified whenever I upload a new video, so you will never miss any piece of my good videos. Alright, enough with all those things. Now let's get to today's video about this mathematics. Right now, the point is this. Now you're getting yourself a salary of 50,000 at the end of the month. So the question is this: how exactly do you plan yourself and how do you actually put that numbers into place so that you'll be able to raise that specific amount of money by that period? There is something that I want you to bust it out of your head, okay? Elections actually comes and go, and by the time you're realizing the next election will be here with us. All right, and now bet we come back to this video and actually get to what I said and you realize that I speak the truth. All right, so now the point is this: now you have your 50,000 salary out there. Now how do you plan yourself? Remember, I always tell you to use a 50-20 or rather 50-30-20% rule, meaning like you're not supposed to use like 30% of total amount of money that you earn towards paying your rent. So that means that if you were to live below the 30% recommended rate on you paying your rent, say like you take your 10,000 and dedicate it towards paying your rent, all right, so you're remaining with 40,000. So 10,000 goes for your rent. Now, what happened is that, because actually, if you were to calculate the 30% of 50,000, it's like 15,000. If you can manage to live within the 10,000, or maybe let's say 11,000 or 12,000 at most around there, then then at that particular point, you're living below or you're living at the recommended rates. So take 10,000, put it aside for your rent. Next step, it's all about you doing what we call the normal food things and what have you, because you have to eat and all other things. Take your 13,000, dedicate it towards you buying your food and what have you. So 10,000 plus 13,000, now you got yourself like 23,000. All right, you got to pay your utilities, the electricity, the water, and what have you. Just put aside like 1,000 aside for that specific issue. Now that is 24,000 gone. Almost you are now killing the half of the amount of money that you have, that is 50,000. So 24,000 gone. Let's say you don't even have a car, you don't have a motorbike, you have to use transport for you to go to job and what have you. Say I every day use your 100 bob or 150 shillings, put aside like 1,500 or something, or rather 3,500 on side. So like that's like 27,000 set aside. You're remaining with 23,000. Say like you have people you support back at home, you have to send something like 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 and what have you. Set aside 3,000 for that. You set it aside. Of course you have to dress, you have to do some other things, like, you get what I'm saying? You set aside like a whole 10,000. How much is remaining? You're remaining with around 14,000 or 13,000 around there. Now that is the money now I'm gonna talk about. You have your 13,000. Guess what? You funded your tax, black tax. You funded about your food, your rent, and your everything, your water, your utilities. You guess what? Now you're remaining with your 13,000. Now this is the question: if you're earning a 50,000 salary, if you can manage to save 13,000, just that 13,000 only, or if not 13,000, then 12,000, you're good to go. Now this is the formula I want us to apply as of now, so that I may show you exactly how you're able to raise your million bob at the end of the 5-year period. Actually, now this is the formula. Very simple. You take that 13,000 each and every month that you get, direct it towards a certain investment. Now you cannot just take your money and save it whereby it's not growing. I would advise you take your money and direct it towards what we call the money market fund. Remember, this is a place that you can be able to withdraw your money any moment you want. It's very simple and actually effective. Now you take your 13,000 each and every month, assume like you're paying a loan somewhere. Assume from today, if you're earning your 50,000, assume from today you've been getting 37,000. So learn to plan yourself within the margin of 37,000. So the 13,000 goes towards a money market fund. You can pick a company that gives you a good rate. Right now, as we speak, the best company that are giving best rates are around 9.8. Others are 9.56, 9.56, 9.8, 9.7, around there. So if you can pick a money market fund that gives you above 9.56 to 9.8, because as of now, as you speak, there is no one that is giving you 10%. So now you can be directing your 13,000 each and every month towards that specific money market fund. So if they give you what we call 13, or rather if they give you 9.8%, that means at the end of the year, if you were to save, like, let's talk of that 12,000, if you were to save 12,000 at the end of the year, that is 144,000. All right, so that means that if they give you a 9.8%, that's around 14,100. You can just do the mathematics. That's why I said take a pen and paper. So that they give you 14,100. Of course, there is paying of taxes and what have you. I don't know, standing management fee and all that things. Just say let's they deduct like 17% of that total amount or 18% of that total amount. You're remaining with around, like, let's say like that total amount is like 2,000 at most. So you're remaining with 12,100 and something. All right. Now that amount of money, and now we are calculating on the lower end of 12,000, and I said 13,000. Now you see, now what happened is that that is the amount of money you get as an interest on top of whatever you are earning. Your 144,000 plus the 12,100 at the end of the year. All right. Now that is what you get at the end of the year. Now this is where the magic now starts to happen. Now that 144,000 plus 12,000, it's around like 156,000, around there. It is the money now that will be used as your principal amount for the next year. Now it won't be 9.8% of 144,000. It will be 9.8% of 156,000. All right, because with money market fund they have what we call the compounding effect that accumulates each and every year. Okay, so whatever you get at the end of the previous year, it's rolled over, or you can plot back the entire amount and you roll over as a principal amount, which is subjected to 9.8% increment. Now that if you do that continuously in a period of 1 year, or rather 5 years, rest assured you'll actually be able to manage to get even more than 1 billion. It's as simple as that. That is not a complicated mathematics. It's the simplest mathematics that you can actually go ahead and do it. Let me just recap exactly what I've just said. You take the 13,000 that I said, or the recommended amount that I said you're supposed to save. You take that money, you put it on a money market fund. Pick a company of your own choice. Actually, I made a whole video dedicating about the best companies you can go ahead and invest on the money market fund. So you can check that video. So you take the 13,000, dedicate it towards your savings, investments. Actually, this is not a saving. This is an investment. Okay, function as a savings and an investment at the same time. You take that 13,000 that you'll be accumulating each and every month. If 12,000 gives you like 14,000 and something at the end of the year, at the interest with response to 9.8%, then that means 13,000 will give you more than that. All right. So that means after you deducting the the withholding tax on the interest, then that means the amount of money that you get at the end of the year, close to 13,000, then plus the principal amount that you've invested in the entire period of 1 year, that now will be subjected to 9.8% as the compound, in a thing that we call the compounding effect of the money. So if you do that in a continuously in the next 4 years, because definitely the first year you subjected to the principal amount, if you do the next 5 years, then rest assured you'll be able to accumulate more than 1 million at the end of the year. And by the way, it's a very simple formula. And you're like there and you're saying like, oh, 5 years sounds like a too long. No. Listen, one thing. At the end of the day, I always tell you, like, money or wealth is never an event. It's always a process that requires you to be dedicated and actually make money. That is as simple as that. Because if you think like it's a simple thing that you just go and press a button, if you think it's a simple thing, then everyone will be wealthy. It's for you to dedicate an entire 5 years for you to do something at the end of the day. Say at the end of the 5 year, you decide now you can take your 1 million and now start investing in other areas. And guess what? That I've given you using a simple formula of the money market fund. What if you were to direct that money towards what we call the shares and the circles? Some circles give you like 17%, others give you 15%, 14%. Can you imagine that? If you were to dedicate your entire 13,000 each and every month towards a circle, a very good and stable circle that has been there and has a good reputation. I am telling you, rest assured, you'll make more than 1 million that I'm talking about. All right. Though the circles do not have what we call the compounding effect, so but the amount of money they give in terms of percentage or in terms of dividends is quite high. Say like you subject to your investment, let's say at the end of the year you manage to save with them like 144,000 for example, and they give you a percentage of 16%. That's like 16,000. All right, but actually that's like 14. Okay, let's say you've saved 144,000, then calculate the 16% of 144,000. If 16% of 100,000 is 16,000, then definitely 144,000 will make more than that. Maybe let's say like close to 20,000 or maybe 18 or 19,000. That's the amount of money that you get at the end of the year. So the 19,000 plus the 144,000 plus you accumulate together, then you keep on adding for the next 5 years. Then whenever you would like to go ahead and break the and sell your shares and get your money back, then rest assured you'll get more than 5, or rather you get more than 1 billion. You see, what I've just said is a very simple thing. May sound complicated, but it's not even complicated at all. And some people who are earning that amount of money may think like, okay, fine, for me to be able to raise this amount of money, oh, it's a bit complicated. I don't think this is actually the thing for me. It's a bit hard. I think someone who can raise $1 million is somebody who has been or who is earning a lot of money. No, it's not a complicated mathematics. Quite a simple mathematics that you can apply and get started to earn something at the end of the day. First of all, it starts with sacrifice, discipline, consistency. Then at the period of that 1 year or rather 5 years, you get your $1 million bob. Now with that, you can be able to start doing some other things. That's how we do it. And I always say, wealth is never an event, it's always a process. It requires you to be disciplined, sacrifice, and consistency, and you starting doing something. So if you're this kind of a person who would like to access your money easily and any moment you want, then I would advise you go for the money market fund. If you're this kind of a person who would like to go in a place whereby withdrawing your money, it's a big process and what have you, you can go the circles way, and you can use either of those two formulas or either of those two actually ways of investments. And then you can be able to earn money and actually be able to raise that specific amount I've talked about at the end of the 5th year. Because let me tell you one thing, within some short period of time, you'll see some campaign cars moving around here and there saying elect me and what have you, and that's the time the reality will dawn on you and you'll be like, what? Kumbe 5 years wasn't that long. That's the reality of actually saving your money. Anyway, guess what? If you manage to reach this video up to this particular point, I just want to say thank you very much. So for now, it's a goodbye. But don't forget, if you're out there, you do not even know how to invest on shares, to invest on money market fund, to invest on, I have booklets about those specific things that I've talked about. You can inbox me. I will leave my number on the description of this specific video. You can pick the number, inbox me, text me on WhatsApp. You get your copy. It's only $220. If you'd like to get a copy of treasury bills, treasury bonds, it's still $220, like it's $440 for both of them, bills and bonds. If you'd like to get a copy about the circles and what have you, I mean, seriously, if you'd like to talk to me about the financial literacy and investments and what have you, you can use the same number, contact me, and we can talk business. It's as simple as that. So for now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.